Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is day 4 of our presentation on the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. And we have with us Chaplain Pastor James Mercy Tumibi. So yes, the floor is yours, Pastor James. Please first stop sharing your screen to show us your face to let us know who's talking. If not, then please go right ahead, but the floor is yours. We are recording. Thank you.
Okay. I think, thank you everyone. Everyone, can you see my face? This is James, Chaplain James Mercy Tumibi, the Chief Executive Officer of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. Yeah. And I quickly want to put us through programs, aim and objectives, the organization, what does it stand for, what do we do? There are some people that wish to know, want to join us in the operation and in this business of promoting peace, human rights, sustainable development goals, and also in peace education. So please, can you join me as I'm sharing this screen with you for us to move forward? Let me pick it up from here once again. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, you can see it.
All right, thank you so much. This is World Humanitarian Organization.
We are seeing it.
Thank you so much. And our motto is togetherness in humanitarianism. So this is what we believe. This is what we believe. And this goes with the goal 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals in partnership with other 16 goals and in promoting what they stand for. This is the organization profile. Here we have the background of WHOPE. The motivation behind it is to localize the Sustainable Development Goal, which we have come to learn today. And also, we realize there's discrimination, racism, violence, corruption, inequality, hatred, political ignorance, religious intolerance, and so on and so forth, going on in various communities and the entire world at large. Also, unemployment for the youth, that includes the graduates, to be involved in vandalism, robbery, illegalism, wandering, immorality. Now we're talking about joblessness. It's everywhere. Now, violation of human rights, unlawful detention, breach of contract, and things like that. So when we realize this, we say to ourselves, we need to come up with a name, an organization called World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. And this organization is established for us to be able to promote peace and equity wherever we meet ourselves. It was really established as a non-profit and non-governmental organization to complement the effort of the government and that of the United Nations principles of promoting peace and fundamental human rights by building integrity, values, professionalism in the humanitarian sector from each locality to the entire world. That is, wherever you are, you can easily volunteer to join us and work from your locality. And by so doing, these kind of services will get to the entire world. And that is why we're able to gather people together here today from all over the continents of the world. And the registration of World Humanitarian Organization was successfully established after the successful registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission of the Federal Republic of Nigerian government on the 22nd February 2018. It was also registered in the United States September 21st, 2023. Also, we register with the Economic and Financial Crime Control, EFCC, of the Special Control Unit against Money Laundering. We have that certificate as well, a full registration. Then let me quickly go to this, the vision of the organization. We have a vision, yes. And the vision is to construct a just, fair, and sustainable world in which me and you, or you and me, or each person, individual, can live in peace, safety, freedom, and be protected from poverty, and has the right to development. This is the vision of WHOPE, World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. So wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to live in peace, safety, freedom, and also be protected from any poverty or any harm of whatsoever, and also have right to development wherever you are. Then coming to our mission. Our mission is to improve the peaceful living condition for humanity, their social development, fair and sustainable economic growth that respects human dignity, the rule of law, fundamental freedom, gender equality, and human rights oriented in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the African Union Agenda 2063. All this is to promote the living peaceful condition of every individual, wherever we are or wherever we find ourselves in the world. Then our core value is to bring integrity, development, professionalism, and team spirit into humanitarianism. So as humanitarians, we respect human dignity, development for every individual, professionalism in our daily activities, and also team spirit wherever we are, wherever we find ourselves. And this helps us to get in partnership with other organizations to promote peace and equity wherever we are. And when we talk about integrity, we honestly discharge our duties in a reliable way with moral principle. When we talk about development, we talk about sustainable growth when it comes to human development, to be progressive, to be positive in our daily activities. We talk about professionalism, and this gets us to involve professionals of good qualities and characters to demonstrate commitment to effect performance, good and great performances in their given jobs. And we talk about commitment and confidence, responsible and dependable, honest into any activities. Then appearance and professional presence is much value as well when it comes to professionalism. Then we build trust and pride, loyalty in our team to show respect and optimism, collaboration and cooperation as a formidable team, also with partners to achieve our vision of creating a just and a sustainable world wherever we are. Humanitarianism, this is where we actively and believe in the human life. Practically, humanity deserves benevolent treatment, which we must be able to render in our daily activities. We quickly go to our aims and objectives. Number one here is to promote quality and universal peace education through advocacy and public enlightenment. And this will take us to grassroots levels, sensitization in secondary schools, in primary schools, in tertiary institutions to promote peace education, to shun cultism, vandalism, hooliganism, to shun racism, discriminations, and to also promote peace and unity, equity in those schools. And we give public lectures when it comes to peace education. And this is part of where you can partner or join us as volunteers. If you're a peace educationalist, if you're peace students of any institution. If you also agitating for peace, we need you here to advocate for peace. Then we promote and advocate for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, wherever you are. We know our rights, the 30 goals of this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is our duty to promote and advocate for it. So we have an office where people come to report whenever their right has been infringed or violated. Then we rise to advocate for their right. We have series of even cases we have attended to today. This is what we do every day. Then number 3 of our aims and objectives, we promote, localize, and accelerate the implementation of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through creative, catalytic, humanitarian projects and initiatives. And that is why we organize this training for you to understand more about the SDGs. So if you understand it more, you will be able to come up with creative ideas for implementation of projects. And it will help you wherever you are to support the move. Also, number 4, we maintain partnership or any collaboration with any government or other organization with similar aims and objectives anywhere in the world for global partnership and development. So wherever we are, we partner with governments and non-governmental organizations to promote our aims and objectives. Number 5, we mobilize and train individuals and corporate organizations on peace education, fundamental human rights, volunteerism, humanitarianism, and sustainable development goals. And this is what we are doing. That's why you are here, to be trained on SDGs. This is part of what we do. Then aims and objective number 6 is to maintain, to manage, to mediate, and to resolve conflicts for individuals, institutions, and other corporate bodies. This is what we do. We mediate. If you're a mediator, you are welcome. If you're a conflict resolutionist, you are welcome. If you're a counselor, you are welcome. This is what we do in our various communities as a volunteer, as a staff of this honorable organization, World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. Then number 7, we recognize, we appreciate, award, and appoint the distinguished humanitarians and volunteers as goodwill ambassadors for quality services and contributions to the nation building and human development. Wherever you are, if we see your activeness, if you support our programs and you have been working with us, we saw your activeness, we saw what you are capable of. It is our duty to recognize you with any recognition award, to appreciate you with a certificate of appreciation, to also give you medals, to also appoint you as a goodwill ambassador wherever you are, any community, any state, any country, any continent you are. This is part of what we do. Also, our aims and objective is to create humanitarian empowerment and global partnership for development and promote social justice in order to have peace and equity for the eradication of poverty in the society. This is part of what we do. We empower people globally, and we partner with international organizations, national organizations, state organizations, community organizations to achieve our aim to be able to eradicate poverty in the society. Also, we promote fundamental freedom, gender equality, and human rights oriented in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and African Union Agenda 2063. We promote the fundamental rights of any gender whatsoever and gender equality. We also advocate for climate change, social justice, and human rights for eradication of environmental and earth inequality in the society. There are inequality in communities all over the world. So we stand to advocate for all this. And that's what makes us to partner with various organizations that are into health care programs, activities. We partner with them to be able to give quality health care services to every individual or people in their various communities. Then when it comes to membership, it's open to everyone, professionals, freelance, humanitarians, volunteers in the field of humanitarianism. You are highly welcome. Then I want to quickly go to the volunteerism policy. Our volunteering policy has to do with the following. Number one is volunteerism as service to humanity. You must know if you are volunteering that you are volunteering to have a good service to humanity. Also, volunteerism with respect to culture, religion, and government. You must be able to respect other people's culture. You must be able to respect their religion and also the government. Volunteerism based on passion. It is the passion you have for this job. That's why you are here as a volunteer. Volunteerism for no financial gain. If you're agitating for financial gain, that means you are no longer volunteering. So volunteerism is without financial gain, and not that you will not be supported whenever you need support. When it comes to maybe transportation to for any activity that has to be carried out in the name of the organizations and things like that. So, but you must understand that volunteerism is without no financial reward. Then volunteerism based on individuals' free will. It is your free will on your time that is giving time to what you have to do. It will be at your free will. Free will of your talent, what you have, the talent you have, the professionalism now. Then the free will of the third T, because we have 3 T's, of your treasure. If you have to volunteer, you must have this free will into these 3 things: the time, the treasure, and the talent, your treasure, and your time. So to be from your free will without being forced. Also, volunteerism based on respect for fundamental human rights. You must have respect for fundamental human rights when you are volunteering with us. Then freedom and also gender equality and gender equity. We must respect other genders as we are working as a volunteer. You will not say because that person is a female or that person is a male and you have to disregard or disrespect. It should not be. So we have to respect everyone. And this junction, I would like to stop here for us to move further into this training. So thank you for having me. I remain Chaplain James Mercy Obatumimbi, the Chief Executive Officer of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. So it's a pleasure having you today and the second day of this training. And over to you, His Excellency, Ambassador Andrew Williams, Jr. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Pastor James. And this is Andrew Williams, Jr. You can find me anywhere on Facebook or social media. You can Google Ambassador Andrew Williams, Jr. That's not because I'm representing any country. I'm representing the people. In 2009, I was appointed as one of the first Facebook ambassadors. And at that time, I devoted my time and effort to promote what was then called the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. What we're now dealing with are the Sustainable Development Goals. So this is not something new for me. This is a continuation. I'm going to briefly share my screen now as well to do a station identification of a kind. My organization is known around the world as Andrew Networks. And a lot of that comes from the work that we did during the pandemic when Pastor James, I, and others focused our time and attention on making sure that people around the world could still stay connected during the pandemic. From that time to this, Ambassador James and the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity has joined Andrew Networks and many other organizations, including LA Global Foundation in India, whose CEO, Meenakshi Sawhney, is also one of my Goodwill ambassadors, as is Pastor James. Our work has been devoted to focusing on the United Nations human rights, which every person on earth is responsible for understanding that we all have human rights. That's the basis of the foundation for the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity in everything we do. So I'm going to ask each of you to pay attention to the fact that next month, less than a month from now, on December 10th, there'll be the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So I'm asking all of you who are attending here to just very simply use your fingers and find out more about Human Rights Day in 2023. I do want to also share with you the fact that we are taking this opportunity to make the Sustainable Development Goals understandable to more people. So this week, we've broken down our presentation using the SDG pyramid for happiness. So part of your homework is going to be knowing how to find out about what we're talking about. And it's very simple, sdgpyramid.org, sdgpyramid.org. And you'll be asked to name the 3 segments that are dealt with in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. 1 through 10 deal with people. 11 through 15 deal with ecology or the earth. 16 and 17 deal with spiritual aspects of it. So you can go to sdgpyramid.org and find out more about how what we're doing affects everything else on earth. Part 2, you'll have to tell us where we can find out more information about the global goals, because you're not just here attending it for yourself, you're attending it to educate people in your community and other people in your network about what the Sustainable Development Goals are. A very simple way to do that is type in globalgoals.org, and there you will find all 17 of the goals. Yesterday, we covered 1 through 4, which was no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, and education. Today, we'll tackle gender equality, number 5, clean water and sanitation, number 6, affordable and clean energy, number 7, decent work and economic growth, number 8, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, number 9, reduced inequalities. I'm sorry, I apologize. We're only going to cover today 5 through 8, which is gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, and decent work and economic growth. Tomorrow, we'll cover industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 10, reduced inequalities. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. And number 12, responsible consumption and production. On the final day, we're going to cover 13, climate action, 14, life below water, 15, life on land, 16, peace and justice and strong institutions, and to me, one of the more important umbrella goals, number 17, partnership for the goals. So this is the open book test. There is no way that anyone here can be expected to remember all of the things that we talk about. We're not asking you to do that. We're only asking you to find out more about what it is we're doing. And that way, only when you yourself take responsibility can you then share that responsibility with other people. That brings us to our curriculum for today. Part of our objective is to make sure that everyone that attends these meetings has the opportunity to have the curriculum in front of them whenever they want it or whenever they need it. as I say, this is an open book test, so to speak. I'm going to introduce to you now the curriculum that we work with so that you'll be better prepared to not just learn during the time that we're here, but also be able to teach others and share with them this invaluable information that's freely available around the world. You don't have to ask anybody to get it. It's free. It's made available to you. As Pastor James says, this is a workshop for volunteers. Part of our responsibility is to make sure you have the right tools and resources to work with that. One of the organizations that assists us in doing that has produced this guide, the Young Person's Guide to Changing the World. Everyone here that's attending will get a copy of this. Ambassador James will make sure that we send it out to you so that you'll have it for yourself. Again, this is an open book test. We're not trying to trick you. We're trying to provide you with the tools and resources that you need to bring peace on earth during our lifetime so we can truly leave no one behind. This booklet was prepared by AIESCC in partnership with UN volunteers. So this is the right publication for the right people for the right time. The table of contents will walk you through information not just about the guide, but about the history of Youth for Global Goals, Youth for Global Goals. And then it shows how to use it for youth, organizations, and actions that we're able to take advantage of. So I'm going to just walk you through this booklet. You can get familiar with it. Those of you that attend it tomorrow, just consider this a refresher. This tells you about what the guide itself, background, about why it's important that everyone on earth can take everyday actions to start and being sustainable for a better world. In that regard, as I mentioned to you, we're talking about the Sustainable Development Goals. That was determined in 2015 for a 15-year period of time. As you know, we're now over halfway towards accomplishing the objectives. Unfortunately, only 15% of the world, of the countries in the world are, of all the countries in the world, we're only 15% accomplishing the 100% we're trying to accomplish for the Sustainable Development Goals. That means we have to commit ourselves to what the United Nations call the Decade of Action to deliver on the SDGs. So this book, again, provides you with a guideline that was developed by the UN volunteers, along with ASIC. And their tagline is Youth for Global Goals. We understand your organization may be dealing with food, poverty, health, but the reality is that we're only doing this for the future. So what we're offering you is an understanding, or at least an opportunity, to get tools to raise your awareness and your understanding so that you can take action. Yesterday, we went over information about how youth could use it, how organizations could use it, and we addressed actions to save the world. And we went over these 1 through 4 yesterday. As I said, number 1 is no poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 3 is good health and well-being. Number 4 is quality education. And today we're going to begin with a walkthrough of number 5, gender equality. What is it about? No discrimination based on gender, ending violence against women, providing equal access to leadership positions and resources for women, end child marriage and female mutilation, enhance the access of women to IT, ensure access to reproductive health. In different countries, exposure of this issue is different. But the fact is, over 150 countries have at least one law that is discriminatory towards women. Look at your government, business elite, or influencers. How many of them are women? 10%, 20%? Across all industries, women make up an average of only 9% of CEO positions. It's time to change this, don't you think? How can you start? Well, you have many options. These are just some suggestions, but I'm hoping what you'll do is identify ways you are already doing work that impacts one or more of these goals. But here, you can run a space about career planning for girls. You can run a sharing space about the career choices to challenge stereotypical thinking about career paths for girls. Invite inspiring businesswomen and entrepreneurs to deliver a class about their career paths. Thanks to technology today, you don't need a physical space. We, the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, through this collaboration with Andrew Networks, will provide you an online space. You take the time to make your planning, make your arrangements, set up your agenda, and we'll provide you access to an online venue. So you don't have overhead costs. You just have the cost of volunteering your time to make sure that we're able to deliver high quality results to girls in your area. But by taking advantage of this collaboration, the same information will be spread around the world. Number two, raise awareness about gender equality issues. Your voice can support equal rights for women. You can write a blog about your personal experience, join social media campaigns, organize a gender equality event in your class or school or organization, of course. It's also important that we get our elderly women and our young women and our adult women to conduct intergenerational dialogues on gender roles and norms. It's simple to initiate a regular conversation in your own family, with your own daughter, niece, with your own aunt, with your own grandmother, about gender roles in household management, careers, etc. Again, you can run a space in your class or on our network to discuss gender prejudice you observe in your everyday life, to raise awareness about these issues. You can speak up for women in danger. Make sure that bullies in your class, workplace, or even in your family are called out about gender insensitive comments and actions. If those are dangerous for the health and well-being of victims, report the case to authorities in your school or workplace. And for Africa, many of your decisions are made by your tribal leaders. Keep in mind that this information is provided for you as well. Everyone on earth has human rights. Next, you can educate women and girls about technology. You can start by educating yourself and your family members on how to use a computer and the internet and better use the device many of you are holding in your hand right this minute to participate with this online webinar, your cell phone, as well as start taking coding design lessons online to advance your knowledge. There are a lot of free materials. Khan Academy, for example, offers hundreds of free online curriculum where you can learn skills to use what you have in front of you to engage yourself with the rest of the world. You can also take lessons online to advance your knowledge. And next, of course, volunteer with the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity or other NGOs to work with disadvantaged girls and train them in IT. Educate yourself because, again, human right number 29 is responsibility. Take the responsibility to educate yourself and others about reproductive health and hygiene. You can start a conversation with your parents or counselor in the school or in your community about reproductive health and search for more information. You can volunteer at an NGO to educate more girls about these topics, especially in rural areas. Remember, the internet does not have any boundaries, but much of the information that we share that applies to our cities and communities will be much more difficult for people in rural communities to be able to take advantage of. It's our task to reconnect the rural with the semi-rural and the urban communities as we move forward to leave no one behind. And finally, this section ends with the recommendation to educate girls on their right to end child marriage. The issue of child marriage does not have enough exposure. You can support an awareness campaign in your own community about the issue or volunteer to educate young girls about their rights and the dangers of an early marriage. And again, come to us to be able to get an online platform where you can be able to teach and reach a wider range of women and girls and men in your community. So I'm going to ask you in the chat to please put any questions that you have, any comments that you have, and please make sure each of you types into the chat your email address so that we can reach you. If you choose to, you can also put your WhatsApp number if you choose to, and we will share this information only among those people that are actually part of this class, not the general public, only your own classmates, because part of our objective is to have each of you to work with each of the other of us to make sure that we are helping each other understand, take advantage of, and then spread the information and knowledge that we have. So, number 6, clean water and sanitation. What is it about? Make water the most basic consumer good and improve its quality. Everyone has access to a toilet and basic hygiene. Make sure not a single drop of water is wasted. Protect and restore mountains, forests, wetlands, rivers, aquifers, and lakes. Do you know why this is so important? More than 750 million people lack adequate access to clean drinking water. We're talking about access to the most needed resource for people to survive. Water should not be a luxury product, and neither should access to basic hygiene services. If your organization is addressing this issue, you have to make it known so that other organizations can come to you not just for education, but also to provide resources to help you accomplish your objectives. No contribution is too small. Here are several ways that you can start. If you're an NGO or not, even if you're only an individual, even if you're just a volunteer, you can run a campaign on hygiene to raise awareness about the hygiene issue in your own community and in your own language through social media, through your school, university campaign, or even in a campaign in the neighborhood where you live and work. Begin at home and work outward. As far as, again, personal responsibility is concerned, don't overuse water. Be mindful about using water. Make sure to close the tap when washing dishes. Keep those showers nice and short. Consider getting a water meter to be aware of your water usage. Of course, that does not apply to people in the rural communities. You'll have to adapt your own methods to make sure that you don't overuse water in your rural situations as well. Educate people on water waste. You can run a test, not just with your class, but also with your workplace to measure how much water can be saved by mindful usage, and then present the results. Encourage your school, university, again, your nonprofit or businesses in your area to support the contest and use the results to improve your own water management, as well as those other participants in the campaign. You can volunteer to distribute drinkable water in vulnerable communities. As you read above, there are 750 million people who lack access to clean drinking water. Some people have to walk for kilometers or miles every single day just to get the water they need to survive. This especially affects children who are forced to abandon their education because of those water runs. Volunteer on a weekly basis or have your organization arrange a weekly effort to help bring water to those communities and make their lives a little easier. You can organize a river cleanup for those of you that are close to or even who benefit from the closest river to you. Engage your classmates, family, even your business associates, or even your nonprofit network, or even your city or municipality to clean up a local river. Spread this activity to the whole school, university, or office building where you live and work. Protect watersheds. This is where it's so important. You can simply take seeds, plant trees to stream waters and banks and edges that are necessary for filtering sediments and pollutions. Of course, your individual efforts are appreciated, but when you make it a group activity, then not only can you apply SDG number 17, partnerships, but you can also spread the impact of your work and activities. Sustainable Development Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. What is it about? Everyone should have access to energy. The objective is to double the energy efficiency and to create an up-to-date infrastructure and technology to supply energy for all. The ultimate objective is to increase the usage of renewable energy. Even with all the innovation happening in the energy sector, only 6% of the energy used worldwide comes from renewable sources. The role of young people goes beyond conservation. It is time for youth to be actively engaged in advocacy and help communities to adapt to usage of new energy sources. What can you do about this? Again, these answers begin at the home and then spread to your school or nonprofit organization. Simply turn off the lights when you're not using them. This will help to conserve energy. Educate your family about not wasting water. If you're children, you can ask your parents to check the bills for energy use and track how your household improves over time. Same thing can be done even if you don't have energy bills. You can still track the usage of your energy expenses, and that will help improve over time the way your family uses it. Convince your parents for kids, but for us, convince your leaders or even begin by convincing yourself or your local municipality to use solar energy sources when possible. Make a research on how you can better imply renewable energy in your own household, in your own neighborhood, in your own organization, in your own municipality, and how it can be used, and then present those results to, in the children's case, the parents. But into your case, present it to your local newspaper, radio station, or even your local media, or even create a newsletter or other publication where you begin to provide this education to people that are impacted by it. Convince, excuse me, excuse me, for those of you who have households that have heating and air conditioning, switch it off and use only when necessary. Don't use multiple devices at the same time, particularly if you're not using them all at the same time. Connectivity of devices drives the behavior of using several electronic devices at the same time in the developed world, but also in your local household. Be mindful about this and actively use several devices only when it is necessary. Imagine how much energy you're spending on charging your phone and laptop every night just to be able to scroll through Facebook for the 10th time. That's one example. Recycle your batteries. Wrong recycling of batteries can cause soil, water, and air pollution. Check out information about nearby locations where you can recycle batteries and organize activity to collect used batteries to recycle. For those non-governmental organizations here, this could provide you with an opportunity to not just provide a benefit to the local community, but improve the health of those people that may be impacted when these batteries are dropped into your water, for example, and then contaminate the water that everyone drinks. So you're doing more than just providing conservation services. Your actions are actually having multiple impacts on multiple of the sustainable development goals. You can run a competition in your university or your company around sustainable energy. Organize a project fair or competition for the best projects and research about renewable energy. It can be part of the grade for a particular course. Spread information about sustainable energy. The big role of youth as innovators is to spread knowledge and raise awareness about the importance of this issue. Your organization, of course, can also organize or join a campaign to advocate for clean energy. You can work with your local school, your university, or even businesses in your area. Stimulate traditional companies and governments to make the transition. Voice your opinion through petitions and campaigns to push transformation of the energy in your own community, in your own city, in your own region, in your own country. Help the local community to adapt. Young people are the best in managing and adapting to change. We need to be their role models in using new types of energy and energy waste management. Start with your own family. Educate people in your own building or neighborhood or office network or your own district, and support communities who don't have access to energy. In reality, over 3 billion people rely on wood, coal, charcoal, or animal waste for cooking and heating. If there are communities like this in your area, organize perhaps a crowdsourcing campaign or learn what volunteering opportunities are available to support people in these areas, or take the next step for your nonprofit, and perhaps you need to decide how you can, in fact, improve your own access to energy, and then use that as an example or sample that you can share with other organizations and people in your network. And finally, today, we're going to address Sustainable Development Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. What is it about? Full employment and fair competition. Minimum 7% annual growth for of the economies in the least developed countries. An end to forced labor and slavery. To protect labor rights and promote safe and secure work environments. Promote skill building for youth employment. Implement policies to promote sustainable tourism. Why should you care? Well, this affects us all. Globally, 13.6 young people are unemployed. As you know, that number skyrockets when we talk about the lesser developed countries. It reaches over 50% in some countries. Unemployment is highly connected to a lack of skills and preparation for the labor market. Here are several ideas and ways to help prepare more young people to join the workforce. Your own non-NGO may be able to take advantage of this as an opportunity to not just engage volunteer youth, but also to empower those youth with opportunities to earn their own income so that they themselves will not be left behind. For example, you can organize after-school workshops and sharing spaces. It may be that your nonprofit has space where you can actually allow children to come after school to participate with workshops to help them improve their learning. But you also have the opportunity to teach these young people about how what you're doing might be something that they could contribute their efforts to support. In some cases, you can give them class credits so that they can have an improved academic outcome. But of course, this means you need to work with your local school, university, perhaps even your local city or city council person to be able to acknowledge and give them credit for work that they do that helps them earn a living. You can invite people with specific skills to give workshops about that topic. How about you? How about the person next to you? How about your entire office? Look at what you individually can teach to be able for our children to employ that skill as an income stream for their future. You can also organize space where participants can share their knowledge about a specific topic. As an NGO, you can simply organize a mentoring program. You can invite people with experience in a certain field to create a mentoring group that will help young people from your school, university, to better prepare for their future jobs. Again, the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity and Andrew Networks, working with our ad hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors, will help provide that virtual space. Contact Pastor James about details. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You need to read and understand the labor laws that are related to different age groups in your country that may apply not only to students, but also to elderly people or disabled people. But you have to get informed about the existing laws in your country, more specifically about the sections that address labor and youth labor. You can make a decision about where you spend your money. Don't buy from companies that exploit children. Don't support those organizations or businesses in your area where you see child labor is put into the outcome. And when you do, raise alarms about that. You can even search online about brands that use child labor to produce their product. That may not be so possible in rural areas, but it is possible in our informal communications with our friends and family. Unfortunately, we probably all know victims of child labor and their parents who don't have help that depend upon organizations like yours or ours to raise the value of their human rights and responsibilities to another awareness level. You can sign up to learn new skills yourself and attend career days. You can increase your employment, or again, for an NGO, think about this as providing a service to youth you're dealing with. To increase their employability, chances to complement their studies with practical skill learning. Let them subscribe to workshops online, on campus, or in your own workspace. In other words, create opportunities for students to apply their energy to not just learn, but to help you accomplish your own mission, goals, and objectives. You can buy from your local producers when you're able to. Support local economic growth by choosing to buy from your local producers and businesses. So often we have choices that sometimes require us to pay a little bit more for locally produced content than for those imported goods. But the more we keep in our own community, the stronger we can build our local community. You can promote your city and country. Support tourism by being an ambassador of your country, your city, even your own neighborhood, by promoting it to cross-regional or international friends, and also do your best to improve the availability of cultural tourism in your own local area. There may be a particular place that has historical significance that only you know about, but that visitors would pay to find out about. You have to become a goodwill ambassador for your own community to begin with. And in winding up, you can run professional orientation. You can have teachers or school counselors to run orientation tests in your own space. Again, if you organize it, WHOPE will work with you so that we can do these things online, so that will not be any cost to you except your volunteer time, energy, and effort. And finally, run a training for youth from rural areas. Young people from rural areas often don't have access to after-school training. You can help by inviting people with specific skills to run workshops at your location. However, again, if you don't have a location, you can arrange that with WHOPE and Pastor James. So I thank you for this presentation of these 4 key sustainable development goals for today. But for those who have an interest in attending tomorrow, I'll give you a brief preview as we proceed. Tomorrow, we'll deal with number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. We'll deal with number 10, reduced inequalities. We'll deal with number 11, sustainable cities and communities. And we'll deal with number 12, which is responsible consumption and production. So Pastor James, please let me know if you're able to hear what I've been saying. And I would ask all of you that have been participating today to, in the chat, please, next to your organization, if you represent one, write down which of the sustainable development goals you are right now involved with. If there's only one, put that one. If there's more than one, put them in order, but put the top priority at the top. Again, For the final set of our workshop, we'll be dealing with these issues, beginning with climate action, SDG 13. We'll move on to life below water, number 14. Then we'll also deal with life on land, number 15. And finally, we'll deal with peace, justice, and strong institutions, number 16. And I have to be honest with you, my favorite one, SDG 17, partnerships for the goals. So again, I thank you very much for your time and attention. I would again ask each of you to make sure that in the chat we have your email address. Pastor James, I noticed that we have now over 30 participants, but we only began with 8. So there are many people here who will be able to get a certificate if they attend tomorrow in the final session, because each day we'll make sure we go over all the material. And this is an open book test. Make sure we have your email address. We will send you a copy of this very publication I've been reviewing for you. It's publicly available around the world. We're not trying to hide information. There is no way for us to accomplish our objectives unless we provide all the information free. And particularly as we're talking about volunteers, this means that the more able you are to have resources to work with, the better able you are to accomplish the goals and objectives you want to. Pastor James, I'll turn it back over to you for any questions and answers. Please put your questions and answers in the chat. Please be disciplined. Yes. Raise your hand if you want to say something. And please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. Thank you very much, Pastor James. Over to you.
Thank you, Ambassador Andrew. Thank you so much for this wonderful workshop and training we have had today for our volunteers all over the world, across the globe. I can see Nigeria, I can see USA, I can see Namibia, I can see Kenya, I can see Sierra Leone, I can see other parts of the world coming together for this training. Thank you so much for this wonderful training we have. And I want to quickly welcome the Chief Chaplain, the Chancellor of International Regnum College, the Senior Vice President for the International Association of Chaplains. I can see him joining us there, Chief Chaplain Peter Smith. It's a pleasure seeing you again in this program, sir. It's a great pleasure. And I want to say thank you to everyone joining us, participating here. As Honorable Andrew rightly said, we have full certificate to be given, and it is not an half or part certificate. So that is why we want you to participate fully in this program before you can be given a certificate. We have called the attendance earlier before now. Some of you are just joining us that you have already missed the session. We can't count you as someone that present because you didn't even know what we have discussed today. That is why if you are joining us, you make sure you are here before the trainer, before the speaker, before we start the training. And I will quickly want to call the attendance again to be sure you are here. Because if you are not here at the end of the training, we might not give you your certificate. Please, if you are listening to me, just unmute yourself once you hear your name and tell me present. That shows you are here with us. Texting message or not, it will not count for you that you are here, because some of you are just here listening to something else or doing something else, not concentrating in the class. And that is why some of you mute off your cameras. Thank you. You can on your camera if you are here with us and listen to your name. We want to be sure you are here. This is classroom now. If I call your name and you cannot answer present, that means you are not here with us. Let me start with Ambassador Dr. Tomesha Walker. Are you here, Tomesha Walker? Dr. Tomesha Walker, are you here with us? Just unmute yourself. You are here with us and say present. I want to hear your voice.
Present.
Oh, Walker, Walker. I've called you earlier. You are not here, but now you are here. Thank you, Walker. Gabriel Okeke, are you here with us? Gabriel Okeke.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. David Benedict tomorrow. Are you here with us? David Benedict.
Yes, I'm here live.
Please, if you have responded, just mute it for another one to come in, please. Once you have unmuted, you talk, mute it again. Please, Sunday Bankole, are you here with us? Sunday Bankole. Lekon Adejola, are you here with us? Maurizio Blois from Italy. Maurizio Blois, are you here with us? Adeniyi Moyo Dorcas, if I can't hear your name, I won't mark it. I didn't mark when I didn't hear.
Present.
Who is that? Who is present?
Present.
Who is that?
Adeniyi Moyo Dorcas.
Better. Then Ahmed Sese from Sierra Leone. Ahmed Sese. Doris Kamangara. Then Eagle Gift. Is that a name or the name of your company? Eagle Gift. Who is Eagle Gift?
It's me, sir. I'm present.
Is that the name you want on your certificate? Is it Eagle you want on your certificate?
Yes, it's that name.
Is the Eagle Gift. All right.
Eagle Gift.
Ajayi Oluwashola, is he here? Rev Onekana, is he here? Mabel Onekana, is he here? Onekana. Sandra Babatunde, is he here? Temitokwe Akinola, is he here? Ojo Ayomide, is he here?
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Who of your name, please?
Ojo Ayomide Timileyin.
Okay, Timileyin. Thank you. Let me quickly put Timileyin so you will not mistaken it for another thing. Timileyin. Okay. Yes. Professor Anita Makane.
Greetings, everyone. I am here.
Okay. God saves you that you spoke.
Thank you.
Savuambe. Is he here? Savuambe. Azamega. Mohammed Sesson, I've called you. I don't know where you are. I've wronged you because I didn't hear you talk. Mohammed Sesson. I recognize your face, but I can't hear your voice. Mohammed Hetu. Emmanuel Etu. Hello, Emmanuel Etu, are you here? Victor Bannemer. Who is talking? Who is talking?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel Etu, all right. Victor Bannemer. Uba Audi.
I'm here.
Is he here?
I'm here, yes, sir. I'm here.
Who?
I'm here. Uba Nkonsha Audi, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
hello?
Pakinola, is he here? Joseph? Oguchuku Ebalemen, is he here? Justina Nathaniel? Moses Phillips? Elaine Adegulule? Adegulule, oh, sorry.
I'm here, Chaplain, I'm here.
The names are like
I'm here.
Adegulube, okay, that's lovely.
Yes, President.
Okay. Another Juliet. Juliet, what? Do we have any Juliet here?
Yes, yes.
What's the name?
Yes.
Juliet what?
Olumuyiwa
What's your
hyphen
name?
Rufai. Juliet Olumuyiwa hyphen Rufai.
Dr.
Juliet
Chaplin, did you mark me?
Should I type it? Someone else is talking. Should I type it?
Juliet Olumuyiwa. Yes, I have your name already. Olumuyiwa.
Hyphen
Is it
Dr.
Rufai.
Chaplin, I didn't
No,
hear you
not
call my
Raphael.
name.
Hyphen Rufai.
Rufai or Rafai? Rufai, R-U, right?
Rufai. Yes, R-U-F-A-I.
Okay, Rufai, I got that. Who is talking,
Yes,
please?
Juliet Olumuyiwa hyphen
Who is
Rufai.
talking? Someone else
Is
is
me?
talking.
Justina Nathaniel, did you mark me?
Is it Justina Nathaniel?
Yes.
I have called your name already.
Okay, thank you, Chaplain.
Idris Baku?
Present, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Present.
Okay. Okay. Prof. Garad Akama? Asane Asinwe? Pascal? Veronica? Is Veronica here? Gobara? Gobara?
I'm here, present.
Is that Gobara? What's the other name for Gobara?
Yes, Paula Gubara.
Paula, oh, sorry. I'm very conscious of my teeth. That's why I could not pronounce that, so I will not lose my teeth. Thank you. You have helped me out. Then Abdikane. Do we have Abdikane? Peace Unameze. Peace Unameze, is he here? Ajayi Timothy. Folami Abisola, is he here? Folami Abisola. I can't see anybody talk. Okpani Deborah.
I'm present.
Okpani Deborah.
Yes, sir.
Is that Deborah?
I'm
that
present. I'm present.
Okay. All right. Do we have Akintayo Fumilayo? Akintayo Fumilayo.
Present. Folami Abisola present.
Okay. Fumilayo Akintayo Fumilayo, is it present?
Present, sir.
Okay. Oluwuyi Victor.
Present. Folami Abisola present.
Olabi Abisola. Yes.
Present.
Yes. Have I called that Abisola? Yeah, Folami Abisola.
Yes,
yes.
Folami Abisola. Yes,
right.
present.
Oyewusi Victor. Oyewusi Victor.
Present, sir.
Tayo Ishola.
Present,
Tayo
sir.
Ishola. Oluwagbenga David. Atobaje.
Present. Present, sir.
Yes, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Atobaje Oluwagbenga Daniel. David. Present.
No, it's Atobaje Oluwagbenga David.
Present. I've marked that.
Have you marked Oye?
Julius?
Have you marked Oye?
Afolabi Julius. Who is Nuga? Who is Nuga? Somebody put Nuga. Is that a name of a company or your personal name? Juliet Olumiwa Rufai. Who is that? Juliet Olumiwa Rufai.
Yes. I have told you before now.
I have just called your name. Have I called it before?
Yes, you have called it when I was telling you.
Juliet. I saw Juliet without other names. That was what I called initially. And this is your full name here. Juliet Olumiwa Rufai.
Yes, hyphen Rufai. Yes, please.
Simeon Dennis. Leshoko. Who is that? Julius Dennis. Aromolate Alex. Aromolate Alex.
Sir, you called Victor Yewusi.
You call Simon.
I am present. On the street. Yes.
I am present.
Okay, thank you. Peter Smith, the chief chaplain.
Thank
the
you,
last
sir.
name we have in here.
Chaplain James, I am definitely here from Puerto Rico. Good morning from here.
Okay.
And I just got my internet back a little while ago, so I am now back online, sir.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, James.
Lumfo, Abongwe, Ngwa. I have to do something with this, my teeth, so it's going to remove while pronouncing names. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I think we have a wonderful day. It is time to ask questions. Do you have any question for the chief chaplain? Do you have any question for Peter Smith? Do you have any question for the facilitator for today's program? Do you, Honorable Ambassador Dr.
You didn't mention my name.
Junior, Andrew Williams Jr. And if you have any question for me, it is the time now. Any question from anyone? What you have learned today on the Sustainable Development Goals? Do you have any question?
I didn't hear my name.
Oh, yes. It's important, Ambassador James.
Hello there.
Names of anyone who did not hear their name.
Hello.
Want to make sure they get their certificates as well.
Repeat that, Your Excellency.
Make sure we add names for people who are not on your list, so we can also make sure they get their certificates of attendance.
Yes, yes. That's why we have the emails and other information submitted to the box. And also, why we are calling them, we want to be sure they are alive with us. Because all of them just mute their videos. We are not sure if they are listening or not. But now when we are calling the attendance, they begin to show their cameras. I don't know why beautiful faces will be hiding their faces. Only ugly ones hide faces. If you are beautiful, if you are pretty enough, if you are handsome enough, you should be able to show your camera.
Stop picking on people and let Moses tell you he's here. Moses is trying to tell you he is here. Listen to the word of Moses.
There's no part 8. I just changed the name back to Timothy Ajayi.
Mr. Moses from Kenya, are you ready to part the seal again? Are you ready to divide this tea again? Can we hear you? Can we hear you?
Thank you, Chaplain James, for mentioning my name. You didn't mention it.
Mentioned your name.
Thank you, and for being reminded by the chief chaplain, Peter Smith.
Thank you so much. I can see somebody raising up his hand. As a Menga from, what is it called? Please go ahead, please. From Pakistan. As a Menga from Pakistan, go ahead with your question. As a Menga. As a Menga, please, any other question from anyone? Any question, please?
I just have a comment.
Eagle Gift, go ahead.
Yes. Chaplain James, my name is, if you see, is the Eagle Gift and Simon. You use Eagle Gift.
What is your name?
My name is Simon. My name is Simon, but the one I'm using is Eagle Gift.
What name do you want on your certificate? Which name do you want on your certificate?
It's Eagle Gift.
Eagle Gift.
Yes.
Then
sir.
why when submitting your names, why do you submit Simeon?
No, the one I was writing in the message, because on
Please,
my
when you are submitting names, submit your official names. Submit your official names that you want on your certificate, and don't bring confusion.
The one I want.
Having you as another person.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question from anyone, please? And His Excellency has just put a question to everyone. By now, if you are having your organization, you should be able to know where your organization falls, the areas your organizations can work effectively. If you are into health, if you are into education, if you are into eradication of poverty, zero hunger, or things like that, you should know if you are having an organization where your organization should fall in when it comes to the sustainable development goals. I have somebody that have said 3, 8, 12, and so on and so forth. So you should be able to distinguish now. You should be able to itemize now. You should be able to state. You should be able to mention, because that is part of the objective of this training. You should be able to know your thematic area where you can come in when it comes to sustainable development goals and what your organization stands to do, service they stand to render. So you should be able to know. It's part of why you are here. I will want to call 1 or 2 persons to be sure we know what we are talking about. Humanitarian Emmanuel Etu, please can you unmute yourself and tell us the name of your organization and where your organization falls in these sustainable development goals we are talking about?
My name is
We can't hear you, please. We can't hear you.
My name is Etu. Can you hear me?
We hardly hear you.
My name is Etu. I am the chairman of AHIABGA Great Elite Association. We are an NGO based in Lagos, in the area called our goals, sustainable goals and development we are doing right now is about children education. And by the grace of God, some of my members also on this training, and it has been very impactful. Thank you.
What happened?
Hello?
We can no longer hear.
I have a feeling that Chaplain James has taken a trip and might have to do a reboot. I love when he does that, Andrew, my friend. Good to see you, sir. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Mutually so, sir. Thank everyone for joining us. Pastor James, as we all know, will be with us just as soon as he possibly can. In the meantime, for anyone who did not hear their name, please type into the chat your name and say, I did not hear my name, so that we will be able to add you to the list. You'll also need to include your email address so that we can follow up with you. Again, this is Andrew Williams Jr. and Chaplain Peter Smith and the Regnum International School of Chaplaincy gave me the honor of awarding a doctorate for me in humanities. But today's work is just part of our ongoing mission. I am a lifetime volunteer, so I'm not here telling you about what I think I know. I'm here telling you what I know you're all experiencing. We're not appreciated by others. They don't understand how we're doing what we're doing. but we continue to do it because it's part of our life mission. So I want to honor each and every one of you for any second of time that you devote to truly help leave no one behind. Until Pastor James gets back, I'm going to share my screen briefly. I do see Yumuro Benedict David has raised his hand. If that's new, then please mute yourself. If it's not, I'm going to lower your hand.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the lecture. I quite appreciate you, sir. I just want to, I don't have an organization yet, but I'm into ministering to young boys and girls to ensure that they go back to school, because where I am, I have quite a number of them whose parents don't have much to send them to school. And I felt the need, to take care of those young ones. And I've been doing that consistently for years now. But I'm beginning to see that that's one area of my calling. And I had a chat with Chaplain James about having an organization, which of course is in the plan already. But I just want to, please, sir, if it is possible for us to have a soft copy of this lecture you just gave us.
Yes.
Well,
thank you so much for asking that question. Any of you who are able to access the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity Facebook page, we're actually streaming this now. So it will be available there for you to review, not just today's activities, but also yesterday's activities and tomorrow's activities as well, so that anyone that did not hear everything can always go to the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity Facebook page. That's where we're streaming it.
That's okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Just for those of you who may not know, the website for the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity has a very particular email website address, and you must get it right, or you will be taken to a pornography site. So you must go to w-hope.org. That's w-hope for the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. I'm sharing with you now their website, and you can see where we are promoting today's, or I should say, these 4-day workshop events. But you can go to the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity and find out more about the organization. And for you specifically, sir, I ask you to go to the website. At the top right side, you can click on Join Us Now to become a member. So even if you do not have an organization yourself, you can click this link and you can join our organization. At least that's what the link says. You can find here contact information. So you would need to send us a photo and your bio, so we have an idea of what your background is. And then also send us what you want to accomplish, and in particular, which one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals your activity is involved with. Again, for those who were not here earlier, we are dealing with all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, and we've made this very easy for you to choose the area that might apply to you. If it's 1 through 10, it deals with people. If it deals with 11 through 15, it deals with the ecology. If it's 16 or 17, it deals with spirituality. But the great news is that technically, none of these work without all of them working. So we ask you to identify what's the major mission that your organization is doing, that applies to which of the Sustainable Development Goals put the priority first. Some of you are working with all 17, but we need you to put in order the priority that your organization is focused on. Again, 1 through 10 deals with people, 11 through 15 deal with ecology, and 16 to 17 deals with spirituality. And for those, again, who came in late, you can find out about what these 17 Sustainable Development Goals are by going to globalgoals.org, globalgoals.org. And if Pastor James does not return, we're going to end today's session. We set aside 2 hours for this. Now we've passed our 2-hour mark, but we will, again, be here tomorrow at the same time. But again, just to end today's session, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are as follows. Number 1, no poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. Number 4, quality education. Number 5, gender equality. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 10, reduced inequalities. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 13, climate action. Number 14, life below water. Number 15, life on land. Number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And number 17, partnerships for the goals. So in my closing, I do want to remind you that this is being sponsored by Andrew Networks, which is a brand name for the Personalized Advertising Representatives Export Trading Company, and also the AHIABGA Network for the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors. You can reach me at andrew@andrewnetworks.com for any comments or questions. You can also go to this website and you will find that we have a list here, not only of what it is we do, what our vision is, our mission is, what we represent, my own introduction of the Honorable Andrew Williams Jr., an overview here, but underneath that, we have included all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, along with information from the United Nations Global Compact. This is the outline or the template that we're using here today for the Happiness SDG Pyramid. On the left, you'll find there is a United Nations Global Compact strategy for the world. And on the right, you'll find the United Nations Global Compact strategy for Africa. Again, you can click here on any of these 17 Sustainable Development Goals and find out more information about each one. When you click on this, it'll take you over to the very same place that we mentioned earlier, globalgoals.org. And in my closing, I do want to say that number 17 applies to each of the goals. Partnerships for the goals, to strengthen the means and implementations and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. So with that, I'm going to move towards close. Now it's time for any closing thoughts. Please type them into the chat, and we will follow up with you either by email or we'll address these issues tomorrow.
Andrew, could I inject something?
Everything's negotiable.
I just want to say, everybody that's here, we are everybody and you are someone. We are all someone and we are all people. You have a training course here that is worth thousands of dollars, and you're getting it for free practically, if not free. If you don't take advantage of this, it is your loss. It's not Andrew's loss. It's not James' loss. It's not me, my loss, Peter Smith. I don't get paid to sit here or teach or do anything I do with any of the groups that I do. I do it for the love of the people, the love of the country of Africa, the love of other countries that I have. But you people are getting a training that if I were to go for this training in the United States, I'd have to pay a couple of $1,000s for. And this is free. Whoever is procrastinating, whoever is hiding and doesn't take a training course like this, you are missing the future. The past is gone. Forget about the past. If you're not looking for the future, then you're in trouble. You're in more trouble than anybody, because the future is what is going to be whether you like it or not. And you want to know something? You either get on board with it or you sink and swim at the same time. This is a training of trainings. I commend Andrew and James. And like I said, I got in here by pure accident today because after 36 hours, my internet and my television returned. I'm going to tell you, I'm sad I couldn't get in previously. But I know I am going to hijack Andrews and get everything that I need. But you've gotten it. I teach chaplains with Regnum. I teach them the American and all the other countries' ways, but not the African way of teaching a chaplain. A chaplain is not for one religion. It's for all religions. Look at me. I'm teaching all of you. And I'm not asking you what your religion is, what your color is, if your blood is really red or green or orange. I don't care who you are. If I'm willing to put my time in this, and you're not willing to take advantage, then between James, Andrew, and myself, you sure as heck are missing a lot. Shame on you. Shame on you if you don't take the training. You could learn something, and by learning, you can prosper. That's if you want to prosper. Because if you're playing a game and not wanting to prosper, you're a fool. You're a moron if you don't want to prosper. I don't know any one person that doesn't want to earn money. I'm not getting paid out of this. I love it. I'm retired. So do me a favor. Get the word out. Tell other people what Andrew's doing, what James is doing, and the groups are doing. Get off your butts and do something. Help pay back for the training that you're getting today and tomorrow and yesterday. You have a responsibility to Andrew, James, and now myself. We need people to go through this training. I'm sitting here real cozy in the United States of America. But I'm on an island. I'm surrounded by water. My internet went out for 36 hours. I had to call the president of the company last night at 11 o'clock and beg to get my internet. He says, Peter, I didn't know you were out it. You will have trucks there at your house tomorrow morning. This morning, I woke up to all the dogs barking. There were 6 trucks outside my house. Why? I know him because of my law enforcement days that we worked with them on major fraud cases. And they did me a favor today. A great favor. I'm back online. I'm here talking to you. But you know what? You need to bring people to these trainings. You need to get other people involved, because if they don't hear the same thing that you're hearing, then they're not hearing anything. And by the way, chaplains are not security guards. Another thing, chaplains are not security guards, and chaplains don't deal with only one religion. We deal with all religions. We don't discriminate. And anybody that tells me that I discriminate, what they sit on is grass, and I will be the lawnmower. The idea is you're all human beings. I've met some really bright women that are afraid to talk, that I'm getting them talking, and they have proven to me that they are super intelligent, just like the men or better. So let me tell you something, folks. This is your house, not mine. This is your training, not mine. I commend Andrew and I commend James. And I request and I beg of you, I'm not asking anything for me. Get other people involved. Get off your rear ends and do something for your country. There's a famous president who passed away, who was assassinated, by the name of John F. Kennedy. Ask not what you can do for yourself. Ask what you can do for your country, Africa. And I thank you. All yours, Andrews.
Well, thank you so very much. And before we leave, I do want to share my screen once again to remind us that these 17 Sustainable Development Goals did not come up out of thin air. The basis of the Sustainable Development Goals are what Chaplain Peter Smith just told us about, our human rights. I do want to also make available to you, free of charge, information where you can find out about what these rights are. It's an organization called Youth for Human Rights.org. And as Chaplain Peter knows, our good friend, excuse me, our good friend Carrie is one person that will make available this education to you in training sessions free of charge. But anybody can use your phone or computer to go to youthforhumanrights.org and discover, as I mentioned to you earlier, that this is the 75th anniversary for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You can go to this website and be able to find the information out about what they all are. But I'll walk you through them, and thank you for taking this opportunity. Number one, we are all born free. We all have free and equal. We all have our own thoughts and ideas. We should all be treated in the same way. Number two, don't discriminate. These rights belong to everybody, whatever our differences. Number three, the right to life. We all have the right to life and to live in freedom and safety. Number four, no slavery. Nobody has any right to make us a slave. We cannot make anyone our slave. Number five, no torture. Nobody has any right to hurt us or torture us. As I said, online, you can access a free Youth for Human Rights e-course to know what your rights are. This free interactive course will introduce you to your human rights, so you will know them and defend them for yourself and others. You can click that button and start your online course. Number six, You have rights no matter where you go. I am a person just like you. Number 7, we are all equal before the law. The law is the same for everybody. It must treat us all fairly. Number 8, your human rights are protected by law. We can all ask for the law to help us when we are not treated fairly. Number 9, no unfair detainment. Nobody has the right to put us in prison without good reason and keep us there, or to send us away from our country. Number 10, the right to trial. If we are put on trial, this should be in public. The people who try us should not let anybody tell them what to do. You can request your free What Are Human Rights booklet on this website, an illustrated guide for children that explains human rights with each of the 30 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, written in easy to understand language. Click that button and you can request it immediately, anywhere on earth. Number 11, we're always innocent until proven guilty. Nobody should be blamed for doing something until it is proven. When people say we did a bad thing, we have the right to show it is not true. The right to privacy. Nobody should try to harm our good name. Nobody has the right to come into our home, open our letters, or bother us or our family without a good reason. Number 13, the freedom to move. We all have the right to go where we want in our own country and to travel as we wish. Number 14, the right to seek a safe place to live. If we are frightened of being badly treated in our own country, we all have the right to run away to another country to be safe. Number 15, we have a right to a nationality. We have a right to belong to a country. Those are the first 15 rights. You can click the button here and go to the next 16 rights. Again, youthforhumanrights.org is where you can find this information. Number 16, marriage and family. Every grown-up has the right to marry and have a family if they want to. Men and women have the same rights when they're married and when they're separated. Number 17, the right to your own things. Everyone has the right to own things or to share them. Nobody should take our things from us without a good reason. Number 18, freedom of thought. We all have the right to believe in what we want to believe, to have a religion or to change it if we want. Number 19, freedom of expression. We all have the right to make up our own minds, to think what we like, to say what we think, and to share our ideas with other people. Number 20, the right to public assembly. We all have the right to meet our friends and to work together in peace to defend our rights. Nobody can make us join a group if we don't want to. Again, there is a free Youth for Human Rights e-course, an interactive course that will introduce you to your human rights so you will know them and defend them for yourself and others. You can click on this link to start your free online course. Number 21, the right to democracy. We all have the right to take part in the government of our country. Every grown-up should be allowed to choose their own leaders. 22, social security. We all have the right to affordable housing, medicine, education, and childcare, enough money to live on, and medical help if we're ill or old. 23, workers' rights. Every group grown-up has the right to do a job for a fair wage for their work and to join a trade union if they choose. 24, the right to play. We all have the right to rest from work and to relax. 25, food and shelter for all. We all have the right to a good life. Mothers and children, people who are old, unemployed, or disabled, and all people have the right to be cared for. Again, you may get an illustrated guide for children that explains human rights with each of the 30 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by clicking that button. 26, the right to education. Education is a right. Oops, just a moment. Technology is only great when it works. The right to education. Education is a right. Primary schools should be free. We should learn about the United Nations and how to get on with others. Our parents can choose what we learn. 27, copyright is a special law that protects one's own artistic creations and writings. Others cannot make copies without our permission. We all have the right to our own way of life and to enjoy good things that art, science, and learning bring. Number 28, a free and fair world. There must be proper order so we can all enjoy rights and freedoms in our own country and all over the world. Number 29, responsibility, as we discussed earlier. We have a duty to other people, and we should protect their rights and freedoms. And finally, number 30, no one can take away your human rights. So with that, I thank you for joining us today. This is Andrew Williams Jr., and today's session has been day 2 of the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity workshop on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I did see we have some people that have joined us since the beginning. So let me ask you to make sure you put into the chat your name and email address and the fact that you're, excuse me, new to this or you want more information, but we can only reach you if you put the information into the chat. We will be making available these live streams to the WHOPE, World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity Facebook page, so you can go back to review all this material at your convenience. So with that, I'm going to ask you, Chaplain Peter, to end us up with a brief prayer, if you would be so kind, sir, to carry us on our journey and to invite us back for tomorrow.
Heavenly Father, we come to you at this time after a very long and interesting training. We have heard many words and many things. We've heard new things and some things that we've heard about but never knew were really true. We now want to go out amongst our people and help our people so that our people can prosper and think for themselves. God, we ask for your holy guidance and your prayers, and show us the way, God. Show us the way. Don't discriminate anybody because of their religion. Don't discriminate anybody because of their color. Don't discriminate anybody because of their beliefs, but trust and work as a team and a community. Heavenly Father, we're coming to a day's end where we live, where I, the person saying what I'm saying now, is just coming to my afternoon. And while these people that are here are getting ready to go to sleep, allow them to go to sleep tonight thinking on how they can help others. May God bless the people in this training, the different countries that are present in this training. And let us remember to work as a team. We ask this, Heavenly Father, and we thank you for giving us health, sight, sound, and a heart and a brain. Amen.
Amen. And I'd like to share a video or a group picture. Now is that time. I'm going to give us all an opportunity, if we choose to share your photos or share your videos, not your sound, but your videos, so that we can take a group picture for those that choose to be included. So, if you did not hear me, and you want to have your photo in the group photo, and now's the time to open your video. And for the interest of time, I'm only going to allow another 30 seconds. And then if you choose to the group photo or not, but the opportunity is here for you. Because there are 30 human rights, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to turn on your video if you choose to share it with the rest of the world. So, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13, number 14, number 15, number 16, number 17, number 18, number 19, number 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 8, 29, and 30. Thank everyone for joining us today. This is day 2 of our 4-day workshop. We hope to see you all here tomorrow.